Welcome back to another episode of Allen Police Behind the Badge. We're your hosts, Officer Sam Ripamani and Alexis Birmingham.
And today our special guest is Officer Anthony Garcia. Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Hey, Anthony. So before we get into what you do for the department, we want to start off. You've been here, 16 years now? Probably?
September will be 17.
17 years. Oh, man, time flies. So in that 17 years, can you give us a good story, something that you've encountered while working here?
There was one night, my first few years I worked deep nights, and there was one night I was assigned up in the northeast part of town, and we kept getting 911 hangups at this one residence, and it was at the time Officer Collier and we responded. Guy wouldn't answer the door, said he was okay, but I mean, he had been calling 911 like multiple times during the day. And so we decided to investigate a little bit further, and eventually we made it into the house through the garage, and we detained the guy. And at that time, Officer Collier decided to do a protective sweep of the house, and he came back down and was like, "Hey, we got to get out of here now." And in my head, I'm thinking, this guy's already killed someone. Yeah. And so we get him out of the house, get him in the back of my car, and he's trying to speak to me the entire time. And he's speaking like gibberish, and so I'm not understanding him. So long story short, we get him arrested. He had a grow house, growing marijuana all throughout the house. I didn't know that at the time. And it goes to court, and after it's all said and done, both parties are about to rest the case. The guy's like, I want to testify. So he gets up on the stands and he goes, well, because in my report, I was having a hard time understanding what he was saying. And so he goes, Your Honor, Hispanic officers have a hard time understanding English. And so this is why Officer Garcia was not able to understand me that night. And in my head, I'm trying not to laugh out loud in court. But in my head, I'm thinking, dude, I've already gone up and testified. The judge has heard me speak. Like, I'm pretty sure he knows that I can speak and understand English fairly well.
Oh,
wow. So do you speak Spanish?
No.
Yeah, that's he tried. I mean,
he tried.
A for effort, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So never figured out why he was calling 911 or?
Well, I think he partook in all the things that he was growing and started hallucinating. One of the reasons why we got into the house is because Officer Collier went around to the garage area, and I was like around the kitchen area of the house, and I could see a silhouette of him, and he was yelling still, and he said something about, "I'm going to cut your fingers off," and I didn't know if he was talking to me or if he was talking to somebody else inside the house.
Yeah.
So that gave us our exigency to get into the house.
Wow. You just never know what a 911 hang-up call is going to turn into.
Never know.
So where are you from?
Originally from Oklahoma.
What part of Oklahoma are you from?
The south central part. Grew up not too far from in the country. Grew up not too far from Lake Texoma, so spent many weekends out on the lake, lots of camping.
Yeah.
I graduated high school from Medill High School in Medill, Oklahoma.
How many were in your graduating class?
Graduating class was around 65. Yeah. So very, very small. Everybody knew everybody.
Kind of like Allen High School, right?
Oh, yeah. Much like Allen. I know. I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, there's no way I could have survived in Allen High School.
No way. It's a college. That's what it feels like. So many people. So Medill, Oklahoma, what brought you to Texas?
So after I graduated high school, I decided to join the U.S. Army. Went off to basic training. Got stationed at Fort Hood. From there, went to Bosnia for about, I think it's somewhere between 6 to 8 months. Went back to Fort Hood and then got reassigned to Fort Knox, Kentucky, as a permanent duty station. During that time, I got married, July 4th of 2001. And if you know, not too long after that, September 11th happened. And I told my wife, I'm like, hey, we're not going to be here much longer. And so the Army sent me back to Fort Hood. And in March of 2004, I left to go to Iraq and came back the beginning of April of 2005.
Wow.
So after that, I became a recruiter. Because they thought I spoke Spanish, they sent me to the heavily Hispanic area of Dallas to recruit. And country boy, I'm not living in Dallas. So we found Allen because it was small. And my wife fell in love with it. She got a job teaching in the school district, and we decided to make Allen our home. So when it was time for my contract to expire and get out, I was looking for a job, and
Here
found
you
one.
are. Yeah. and you've been with Alan since, you say 2000, was it 8?
2008.
Yeah. So I started in 07. You were right after me. I remember y'all were a big group that kind of hired in all at the same time.
Oh, I think there was 8 or 9 of us.
Yeah, I remember them. A lot of y'all are still here too, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I think there's 3 of us still, 3 or 4 of us still here.
Not as many as I thought, but
Yeah. So that is another story. Like, when I first applied, they were only going to hire 2, and I'm thinking, all right, my odds are pretty good. I'm a good old country boy. I've never done really anything wrong. I'm pretty fit. So show up to the testing, and there's like 400 people there. I'm like,
wow.
oh my goodness. I don't know if I'm gonna make this.
yeah, I know that feeling.
But God has a plan, and I made it.
That's awesome. Same kind of situation for me when I tested in 07. I show up out there to the track, and I think there's probably a little over 300 people that day, and I think they're hiring 4 spots. And I'm looking around, and some of these guys, I'm like, this guy could play in the NFL. Like, this guy, look at these athletes. You know, we get out on the track, and I was not in the best running shape at the time. I was okay because I was young. And but there's guys out there running, 9.5 minute mile and a half. I'm like, I have no chance. But like you said, you got to go through the whole process, and
all the physical stuff. Officer Longton, it was either him or I are coming in first and second, and I'm like, man, you got to get out of here, man. I'm trying to win all these.
So what do you?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
You've always been kind of a runner, though, right?
Yes, I'm good at it. I hate it though. Like I could go out and run right now and run a fairly
like
good
our
mile
PT
time.
test we do. You just keep going.
Yeah.
I'm like, how's he getting all these reps?
But I don't do cardio on my own at all.
Yeah. So what do you do now for the department?
Currently, I work as a school resource officer. I'm at the Lowry Freshman Center. When I first started, I started off at Erickson. I was at the middle school at Erickson for 4 years, and then moved over to Curtis Middle School. Moved over there when my son was in 8th grade, and so I got to mess with him. Was at Curtis for 5 years, and I just finished my 2nd year at the Freshman Center, so going on my 3rd year there.
So were you at the middle school with Peyton, your daughter?
I was. I was at the middle school with her.
She loved that.
And then at the time, Sergeant Collier was the supervisor for the Freshman Center.
He's like an uncle to her.
Well, yeah. And he asked me to move up to the Freshman Center. That's why I'm there now. And it just so happened to be her freshman year.
Oh my goodness!
So,
she can't get away from Dad.
She didn't mind it as much. My son was the one. My son was the one that didn't like. He didn't like all the extra attention.
He's kind of shy.
Oh yeah. I messed with him the first day of school, his 8th grade year.
Did you?
I told him I was like, hey, if you ignore me in the hallway, I'm gonna make this bad for you. So first period, bell rings, and I see him in the hallway, and he ignores me. So walk into the class and introduce myself as the new SRO, and it's like, oh, by the way, anybody want to see baby pictures of Caden?
Oh no!
Oh, his face got red.
Poor guy. But you know what? He'll grow up. He'll do the same thing to his kids one day.
Oh yeah.
And he was a big wrestler in high school, right?
Yeah, he was wrestled. He got into it. We always thought he would be good. My wife and I tried to convince him to do it when he was little, and I think it was 4th grade when he finally decided to try it out, and he tried it with a bunch of friends, and they all convinced him to do it, and
that's what it takes.
And he was the only one that stuck with it, and wrestled for Allen High School, which is one of the best wrestling high schools in the state of Texas. Mm-hmm. They just recently won their 15th team state title.
Really?
Yeah, my son was part of the one of the. I think it was after his senior year. The next year they didn't win. They got second, and then they got first last year. So they got reclaimed the state title.
Yeah.
But he wrestled 4 years on varsity and 3-time state placer. His sophomore year he got 5th. Junior year he got 6th, and senior year he got 2nd at state.
That's impressive. Is he still wrestling now?
He just picked it back up. He wrestled last year for Texas A&M. They have a club team.
Yeah.
And so he qualified. He picked it up like with 3 weeks left of the season, and it was fun to watch him because he was still pretty dominant, but if it got out of the first or second period, he was gassed.
Little gas. That's how I would be too.
But he qualified for the national tournament and went 2-2 there, misplacing by 2 rounds. So,
wow. So I have a last year my 7th grader. They like him to do another sport other than just football, so he's a lineman. It's my only child that's kind of more like a lineman. And the offensive line coach is the wrestling coach. He's like, Peyton, I want you to come wrestle. We had no idea. And he brought home what they call it, a singlet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my, he's like, Dad, there's no way I'm doing this.
Yeah, that was one reason why he didn't want to do it.
I'm not wearing this in front of people because he's a bigger boy. I said, come on, try the singlet on. I want to see it. And so finally convinced him. I was like, oh, it's fine. You look just like the rest of them out there. But we showed up in our first tournament. Never wrestled. We're a small school out in Gunner, you know. We come to a wrestling tournament here in Allen. I'm like, man, some of these kids, they're like 7th grade, and they're just throwing boys around everywhere. And I think he had 4 matches that day. He came out and he won the first one. I was like, hey, maybe this is a sport. Then he went 0 for 3 on the next 3. And he came out and he was like, Dad, I'm done with wrestling. This is terrible.
First and only wrestling tournament.
That was it. He's like, I'm done. I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
It's one for him.
It's a tough sport.
It is.
He'll wrestle me now. And after about the first 2 minutes, I give up because I don't have the stamina.
You got to pin him quick or it's over.
Oh, no, he's stronger than me now.
No.
You've reached that point.
Oh, yeah.
That's me. My oldest, he's in college as well, and I get into it back and forth, and I'm like, man, if he really wants to go at it, I'm going to have to try to knock him out like right off the bat because he's bigger, stronger, and faster than me now.
I'll tell him if we're going to fight for real, I'm going to cheat, so I'll win.
Yeah, there's no fair fight, right? So you've been in schools for how many years?
Going on my 13th year.
But I feel like I can't go anywhere in Allen and have a teenager come up to me and be like, do you know Officer Garcia?
It happens a lot.
All
the time. Every event we go to, there's always a young kid. They're like, "Oh, Officer Garcia.
Yeah.
Does he work with you guys?"
Yeah.
I love what I do now. I didn't, growing up in Oklahoma, I didn't realize there were police officers in schools, and so once this became an opportunity and I decided to go for it, I just love working with youth. I grew up poor, without a dad, so my mom worked all the time and was never around, and so I kind of know how it feels to be feeling like you're alone while you're in school. And so I go around and I talk to every single kid, and I try to make them know that I'm there for them, that I love them, I care for them, and if they ever need anything, I'm here for them.
And we're not exaggerating. It's everywhere.
Yeah, lots of love from everyone.
Yeah, and it's the parents too. They come up and they have nothing but positive things to say. So whatever it is you're doing in the schools, and you're definitely making a positive impact. So
thank you. Keep
doing that. It takes a special person. My wife's a teacher. Your wife's been in education for a long time. Like, I don't know how y'all do it. you have to be built for that. Because there's a lot of energy going through those halls of those schools.
There's a lot of energy, lots of smiles all day long, and lots of talking that goes all day. And I don't like to talk a lot, but yeah.
I feel like I've seen you in some like dance offs and stuff at pep rallies and things like that.
I'm Barbie boxes and different pictures.
Yeah, you get with my friends that I hang out with a lot, and they'll tell you I'm not a dancer, but I will try.
I've seen you outside of work. I know. That's funny. So,
What about My Texas, since you're talking about
Okay. Yeah. So
That's a good segue.
in 2023, I had just gotten off work and was this was December 31st. So I had just gotten off work, was going to a friend of mine's house for a New Year's Eve party, and my family were already at the party, so I'm going to meet up with them. And My Texas by Josh Abbott band was playing on the radio, and so I'm like, man, I'm gonna do everything in this song
So random.
in 2024. And so got there and ball drops and all that, and I tell my wife my plan, and I don't know if she thought that I was serious until the first event.
Poor
And then did everything in the song, and the last thing that I did was the last two things. Had to go to El Paso and see the sunset, and then I drove down from El Paso down to Big Bend and hiked a couple trails in Big Bend, and that was the last two things. And man, it was awesome. I kind of want to do it again.
Did you do it all by yourself, or did your family join you?
There were several things that I did by myself. The one that I would say sucked the most was and the actual event itself was awesome, but no one went with me. So I got up at 4:30 in the morning on a Saturday morning, drove down to Lakey, however you say it.
Lakey, Texas.
Lakey, Texas.
I know where he's going.
Floated the Frio River. Floated the river for 4 hours, and so I don't know how long does it take to get down there.
It's about a 6.5 hour drive,
Yeah.
probably.
So drove there 6.5 hours, floated the river for 4 hours, and drove back all in one
wow.
day.
I just got back from there a few weeks ago, and yeah, the Frio River is amazing. Never gone and floated by myself, but I remember I started getting texts from Anthony asking questions about the Frio. And I was like,
Yeah.
he's about to mark an item off his list.
Oh yeah, yeah. Several of those events were very fun. I would say probably about 30% of the things I've done by myself, and most of the things my wife went with me.
Do you know how many items it was in that song?
Ooh,
Did you ever
I
add
think
it
around
up?
30 something.
But it's spread out all over
Yeah.
Texas.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it definitely took some time to
Took
to
some
go
time,
through it
and some of the events, like I had to go listen to Roger Creager, had to go Pat Green.
you
and
just
so-
had to go do this stuff.
Yeah, had to go. And but so I mean, those I had to go on a certain date. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
Larry Joe Taylor Fest,
And the fireworks shows. it's on
fireworks
certain
show.
times of year.
So that thing was awesome. Like, if you have not seen the fireworks on Lake Possum Kingdom, oh, you got to go. It's awesome.
Now I kind of want to do the song. I want to do all these items. So now that that's done, what are you on to now? You're not someone that sits still.
Well, because I love to travel, I decided when I went to Big Bend, you go through Marfa, Texas,
Oh, that's cool.
and they have a beautiful courthouse down there, and it's just right off the main street. And so when I was driving, I looked over and I saw it, and at the time I didn't think anything of it. I was like, all right, when I come back by, I'll stop by and go take a look. And I hung out too much in Big Bend, and so I had to hurry up and get back. And so on the flight back to Dallas to Allen, I was like, you know what? In 2025, I guess, I'm going to go visit county courthouses on a square. So I've been to, what month is we're in now? 7. So I've been to 7 county courthouses already. I think my favorite is Sulphur Springs. That county
that's not
courthouse
too far
was,
from home.
yeah, I went to that one with my wife, and just the square it's a good square, and so my wife enjoyed it. So
She used to go shopping, she said, when
Yeah.
she goes. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
she told us.
she didn't enjoy the last one too much. It was out in the middle of nowhere.
Not a whole lot
No.
around.
Yeah, Clarendon, Texas.
Yeah, I don't even know where that one is.
It's about an hour shy of getting to Amarillo.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
wow.
Yeah, that is
That's
a ways.
So we did that in one day. Did that drive.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And she doesn't. Well, she drove back home on that one because I was tired. But she doesn't. Typically, I do all the driving.
She just gets to ride.
Yeah, she just gets to ride.
It's lunch and shopping spree. I like it. So you do the courthouses. What about you have this little group of guys, right? I shouldn't say little.
No, well,
A lot of them work.
A couple
here.
of them are short, but yeah.
Some of them, work for the department. But it's,
yeah, so
I would call it a gang, but it's more like I guess we'll call it a club.
I guess we'll call it a club.
Yeah.
So it's called Riverbanking. And
Riverbanking boys. It's all guys at the moment.
All guys.
So the Riverbanking boys.
Most of the guys are Allen PD guys. We have one McKinney PD guy, and then we have one of my best friends that's not in law enforcement. He's in the group, and then another guy that's not law enforcement. So but yeah, I mean, we travel to different rivers and
mostly in Texas.
Mostly in Texas, but we've gone to Missouri, we've gone to Arkansas, we've gone to Oklahoma.
Oh, wow.
Trying to plan a trip up to Tennessee here pretty soon. So we've done the two toughest rivers in Texas, the Devil's River down in Del Rio, and then the just recently did the Pecos River. It's near Del Rio, but Comstock and Pandale, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. That one kicked my tail. I cried a few times on the inside. If I had cell service, I probably would have called my mom.
Well, you can't just turn around and go back.
No, you can't turn around and go back.
With the flow on that one.
Yeah, so it was rough.
So what y'all just put up a tent, camp out?
Yeah,
sleep under the stars.
Riverbank. You just throw up a tent there, sleep under the stars.
Catch what you eat kind of thing?
Oh, we've not done that yet.
What you catch
I am. My nickname in the group is Cookie, so I do all the cooking.
Cookie.
I love to cook. So I mean, we'll do steaks, we'll do barbecue pork chops. We've done jambalaya. We've done shrimp bowls. I mean, whatever the boys want, I'll cook for them.
Don't you record these trips?
Yeah. We just started a YouTube channel. So far we only have one Brazos River trip on the channel, and just recently the Pecos River, which again, there's a lot of content in that video, but not great content because I'm just learning on how to do YouTube and things of that nature. So
do you go downriver and set up cameras?
Not yet.
If you do that, maybe just wait on your guys to show up. So you don't have to be not be in the shot with us.
But yeah, so the rivers in Texas we've done. The Brazos, we typically go and put in just right outside of Lake Possum Kingdom, and we'll that one is about a 20-mile section, and so we'll do that. Usually when we do that one, we'll do it in two nights, 3 days. We've done what else have we done in Texas? Devil's River we've done once. Pecos that was like a 5-nighter, 6 days.
Wow, that's a long trip.
Yeah, it's that one. That's the longest river we've done. It was the total length is about 65 miles, and then like once you factor in paddling sideways and back up river and all that, I think Officer Ramirez, I think he recorded 70 something total miles, or almost 80 something miles that he paddled.
Wow.
All in all.
Sounds exhausting.
It was.
Are you in kayaks?
In kayaks, yeah.
Are they the pedal ones, or you have to
No,
paddle?
You got to paddle. You can't be cheating out there.
I'd have to have the foot pedals.
Can't be cheating out there.
Trolling
Let's
motor.
have a break.
yeah. But no,
exhausting.
we have a good time out there. I mean, it's all about getting out there. Most of the rivers that we go to, there's no cell service, and so I mean, you're kind of off the grid.
It's roughing
It's a
it.
good way to disconnect, I guess.
Oh yeah, disconnect.
But y'all smell great when you're driving home.
Oh,
from
yeah.
your end of your river trip.
Oh, yeah.
All in a truck together.
So May 6th, 2 years ago, myself and Sergeant Cleveland and Officer Forcan, we were on the river, and typically you don't get any cell service out there, and all of a sudden Sergeant Cleveland's phone starts ringing, and it's his wife letting him know about the outlet mall. And so that was like a God thing, that in that one little
section
area he was able to get service, and we were able to figure out what was going on. We were too far away to like be able to hurry up and get off the river. And I don't know if you remember that day, but a big storm came, and so we got caught on the river in the big storm.
Oh man, what a day!
Oh yeah.
How long have you had this group, like traveling and doing all the kayaking?
I started this up around COVID time frame. So I had gone on a trip to the Buffalo River in Arkansas with one of our former officers that when he worked in Richardson. There's a big group that goes out there and does the Buffalo River once a year, and I got an invite. It was myself and Officer Collier and Sergeant Cleveland and at the time Sergeant DeBlanc, but went out there and I loved it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get into this. But I had young kids, and so they took all my time. And so once COVID happened, I got more time freed up, started looking at it, and found that the Brazos River has a shuttle service out there. And so went out there. The first time I went, it was just me, a friend of mine, my son and his son. And then I kept going back out there and was loving it. So then I was like, oh, let's start a group up. So there's, I don't know, 13, I think,
wow.
in our group right now.
Oh, wow.
It's a big group.
So actually leaving to go to Junction, Texas to do the South Llano River. And there's 6 of us going down there tomorrow.
How many nights?
This will be 3 nights, 4 days to go. I think it's going to be roughly about 16 miles.
You get all your meals planned up?
Yeah. So we'll have usually steak is the first night. So we'll do steak and roasted potatoes with jalapenos in there.
Man,
And,
y'all are roughing it
good.
up.
Yeah.
some roasted corn on the open flames and whatever else as the boys want as a side. And night 2 will be chicken and sausage jambalaya. And then night 3, we're going to have Frito chili pie. I'm going to make some chili out there, and you could either eat chili by itself or
Have Frito
Frito
pie.
have the
pie.
Frito pie. So
Man,
That all sounds
I
really
want to
good.
show up for dinner time. I don't want to do the floating or the kayaking. I just want
and
dinner.
then we're just fishing all day.
Are you catching any fish on these trips?
Oh yeah,
Let's,
yeah. Well,
let's
some
ask
of
the
us.
real question.
Some of us. There's a few that are castermans, and then a few of us that are fishermen.
That would be me. I would just be flinging it,
Uh,
and just talking to everybody. Sounds like it's a lot of fun, though.
it
I'm
is
sure
a lot of
it's
fun.
exhausting, but
Yeah,
a lot of good memories, I'm sure,
yeah,
from that.
lots of good memories.
So, shifting gears back to work. We got to talk about work a little bit. In the schools, you're going to be at the Freshman Center again this year?
Yes, sir. Be at the
At the
Freshman
Lowry
Center.
Freshman Center. So, what is something that you would want to tell the community with school getting ready to ramp up? And
Yeah. So one of our biggest issues there is things getting stolen out of the locker rooms. And then typically when you go and ask the athlete, like, well, was your stuff locked? No, I didn't lock it. I didn't have time or don't know how to open my lock. So I would highly encourage everybody. I speak to the football team. I don't speak to the other sports, but I speak to the football team, and I try to encourage them. Hey, use that lock. If it's valuable to you, it's going to be valuable to somebody else. And so lock your stuff. And that would be one of the biggest things that I would try to stress.
Is there something new you can share with the unit? Like, what's new in your unit currently?
What's new in our unit? Well, not much that I could think of. We just started the working 5 days a week and building a comp bank, and so having this summer off has been awesome. But at the same time, I'm spending more money because
you're going to all these
Oh,
courthouses.
well, that and I got more free time, so
Right.
I'm like, I need to work.
And you guys train during the summer, don't you?
Yeah, we
guys?
trained during the summer. We recently just last week went to our national conference. Unfortunately, it was held in the state of Texas this year, so we didn't get to really travel.
Close to home.
But it's a great time getting to meet and conversate with officers from other states and kind of see what their problems are and how they're handling their issues and vice versa, them asking us and stuff like that. So
I think I saw a picture of you cooking. Was it jambalaya in the parking lot?
yeah, so we did jambalaya on Tuesday did jambalaya out in the parking lot, and then on Thursday I did taco salad.
And where was
So,
this at? Like, where was this at?
At the Gaylord in Grapevine.
Oh, I'm sure they love that.
They didn't
You
know. They don't need to know. Don't listen.
That's funny. So, are you ready for school to start back?
I'm ready. I wish we went to school year round. I mean, have some breaks, but
Well, in the past, y'all worked patrol in the summertime, right?
Yeah, either patrol or the junior police academy that we host.
Yeah.
It was about 50-50. Half of the unit would go work patrol and half the unit would work the camps.
So it's more involvement in the camp now since y'all aren't.
Now everybody worked the camp this summer.
That's kind of nice too.
Yeah. We only had 3 camps this summer, and they were all full. So.
Yeah, we see the Eventbrite stuff. It fills up quick.
The kids love it. I mean,
yeah. And it's funny that
fun.
like you'll get some of the kids that will do it all the way up through their senior year, and they'll come back every year knowing that for the most part it's all going to be the same thing that they did this last year. I try to change a few things up here and there, but
yeah. Do they still wear the drunk goggles?
Yeah, we don't have the golf cart anymore. We have this little bicycle
bikes, right?
Yeah,
thing, and
I've ridden that little bike.
Yeah, that thing looks fun.
Do those kids end up in the Explore program a lot of times, or how does that work?
Yeah, we push that big time, and so we will have a few that will join through there. Jacob Groves, he was one of the kids that came through police camp, and
now in our police academy.
Now he's
as
in
a
the police
recruit?
academy trying
That's
to be an officer, but he joined the Explorers. And
what do they do? What do they do? They learn kind of what officers are doing.
Yeah. So when I first became a school resource officer and got involved with the junior police academy, it was more just like classroom stuff, and so I tried to make it more kind of like a junior police academy where they would learn. We'll teach them a few of the laws and teach them some of the techniques and stuff that we do, like building searches and stuff like that, and then we'll put them through scenarios. And they love the scenario day.
Yeah, because we recently just hosted our own Explorers. What was it called?
Their
competition, right?
Yes.
It was a competition that we had here. That was a long night.
Yeah. I used to be involved with the Art Explorer program, and then I haven't done that in a few years just because it was taking up too much of my time, and I had other things going on. But yeah, those Explorer competitions, they're awesome. It's good to see kids from all across the state come and compete against each other, and some of them I think would do better than some of our officers. So yeah, it was rough. This one I was an actor for the active shooter, and yeah, some of those teams were pretty good.
Yeah, I was an actor in a domestic, and I was the aggressor, so I was getting thrown around by these high school kids all night. Some of them don't look like high school kids.
No.
There's some
some of them pretty strong.
Some big old boys coming in there and just picking me up like nothing.
Yeah, I was on one of the scenarios. He had me proned out on the floor, and then next thing I know, he's like jumping down on my back, and I'm like,
oh no.
And he was a big boy, so it was a lot of weight.
It's just interesting to see like how each team they do the scenario so differently than each other, and it's pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah.
But it's such an upper hand if you want to have a career in law enforcement one day, going through the camps and then going into the Explorers. Like, it's almost like cheating when you go into the police academy.
There's a cheat code.
Yeah, you have so much knowledge about the profession already. It has to make it much easier and less stressful.
There was nothing like that in my high school. So
no, and they get to meet our officers and have those connections, and it's really good for them.
Yeah. Officer Groves, he worked in the jail, but I mean, just through his Explorer time, I mean, he already knew a bunch of the officers, and then working in the jail, got to know almost everybody else. So definitely a cheat code.
I used him for undercover tobacco's team.
Yes,
when he was in high school, he was just a young kid, and nobody would sell to him because he looked like just looked like a baby going in there. And now he's a recruit in the police academy for
graduated with my son,
all grown up. But Anthony, we really appreciate you coming out today and talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
We're excited for the school year. What's the Eagles look like this year? I know you're always into the football team.
I know the offensive line is a big concern. Defense should be pretty strong. Quarterback, it just depends on which one they go with. We did have a kid move in. Not too long ago. So he's a freshman, but he's supposed to be a stud. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
It's always exciting to watch the Allen Eagles play on Friday night.
Oh yeah,
we'll be there with you now that I don't have one playing in high school. So thank you again.
Yeah.
Yes, we really appreciate you
Thank
coming
you for
on
having
today.
me.
If you'd like to learn more about our school resource officer or upcoming events in the Allen Police Department, go to our website, allenpolice.org.
And make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.